And we're back. Welcome to the intermission set. I am Bill Burns' doppelganger. He doesn't wear a hat, so yeah, he asked me to fill in for him tonight. We are the Sinclair Youth Jazz Ensemble. We're going to play in April, but John Fitchek's going to be here, so we're here tonight, and it was spring break. So a very brave band director decided to take this gig. So I'd like to thank Bill Burns for being very brave and taking a gig over spring break. And we're going to have a lot of fun. This is the set we played at Big Week of the Jazz just a few short weeks ago. We have a couple subs in the band that I'll introduce you to later. But here is a tune made famous by the Count Basie Orchestra, arranged by Dayton's own Mark Taylor. Here is Blues in Haas Flat. Hope you enjoy it. A one, a two, a one, two, a one, two, three, five. Erickson, I've adopted the school's mascots as their nickname. So Justice comes from the school, it's the Vikings, but I call him Leif Erikson. And then Alian Berry, she comes from the school, it's Native American theme. So she's Sacagawea. So Sacagawea on Berry sax, Leif Erikson on trumpet, and Tony the Tiger on there. And then an alumni of the band, a friend of mine who I owe copious amounts of ice cream to, our friend Connor Larimer, jumping in on trombone. Give it up. The whole reason we're here, Tuesday Night Castles put out April 24th. We're going to be doing a tribute to the legends of jazz. I'll put one of these out. There'll be one over here by the Jazz Cats. We're featuring trumpeter Matt Anklin, who's an alumni of Sinclair, and we'll be doing a tribute to Chuck Mangione, Sammy Nestico, the late great Gordon Goodman, and many others. So please come on out to that concert. This next one was a request from one of our trumpet players. It's called Funky Mama, and it's a great Latin chart made famous by the great Blue Mitchell. And we're going to hear again from Tony the Tiger on tenor. And it's a nice Latin number, so feel free to jump up and dance. Here we go. One, two, three, four. ballad was written by the great Sonny Nestico in tribute to the wife of Count Basie, and dedicated to the great Catherine Basie. And anybody that is the wife or spouse of a musician, you know that it's a tough gig. So thank you to all the jazz parents in the house for supporting jazz education, and thank you to all the support in the house that gives us a chance to escape reality, otherwise known as jazz, otherwise known as music. So it's a beautiful tune called Katie. We're going to hear from several members of the trumpet section, and it's a beautiful ballad, and we certainly hope you enjoy it. It's submitted by the great Sammy Nestico. Justice Fruitful Edwards on the flugelhorn back there. Harrison. And then jumping in on guitar, Parker Waller, Sinclair student. You're going to note that there's a few advanced Sinclair students up on the stand. I want to take a second and thank my friends for helping me out on this winging a prayer due to life circumstances, because you know, you got to get through life to get to this wonderful escape we call music. Helping us out on lead alto saxophone, the Oakwood band director, and the lead alto player in the Dayton Jazz Orchestra, Adam Hewlett. Give it up for Mr. great guy extraordinaire. I know the Larimers are here tonight to listen to Connor Larimer jumping in on second trombone. Give it up. Thank you oh so much. And then my favorite place to park when I go to the Dayton airport, because I fly all the time. I'm going to Jamaica, Paris, you name it. Just kidding. But you might know there's a very handsome gentleman in the back row who owns Park and Go at the Dayton airport. Great guy extraordinaire, plays in a lot of local bands. Give it up for Brian West jumping in on weekend. I think between this band and all my other records, I've used up a favor with pretty much everyone in town. So thank you to Todd Cooch for inviting Sinclair to play tonight, and thank you to Tony for having live jazz as an oasis from the world. And yes, and thank you all for listening. We're going to do one more tune for you. It's by the late great Gordon Goodwin, and we're going to do a little battle of the lumberjacks here with Mr. Yu on alto and Cameron over there on trombone. We're going to do some trombone, alto back and forth. So don't clap until they sit down. And then we're also going to do a little bit with Parker on guitar, and a battle of Leif Erikson versus Sacagawea. They're going to argue over who discovered America. And this is Hit the Bricks. Hope you enjoy it. This will be our last one, DJ. This is Danielle the Patriot on the bass, who was in All State Jazz Ensemble just a few weeks ago. She's playing it down for you. Give it up for Danielle. The St. Clair Youth